Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video on the channel where today we're going to be checking out another one of the best formations this year, which is the 4-4-2. So if you do want to see any more content, make sure you do drop a like on the video. Make sure you hit a subscribe button as well if you do find it useful. It does really help us out. But without further ado, going into the 4-4-2 now, formation that I think is the best formation to use if you're not like the highest skill tiered player. You know, a lot of people will maybe say use the 4-2-3-1 because it is the the quote unquote best formation in the game this year. If you want something that's quite easy to use though, and you're maybe like a really low skill player, like maybe you are sort of a Div 9, Div 8, Div 7 type player, this is a great formation to use because it's really simple, really easy. It's very basic. It doesn't need a lot of difficult, complicated instructions. It's a very simple formation to use. Now, with that being said, these were the tactics that I found to be the best for the 4-4-2. I went balanced. The width and depth, I went basic, as again, it's kind of layering on what I've just said, where it's a very simple and easy formation to use. You know, a back four, a flat four in midfield, two up front. Very simple and easy to use. No complicated cams or CDMs that you need to do specific roles. You don't necessarily need specific players to play this role either. You'll see the players that we use for this formation. But I went balanced on the defensive style. I didn't like to, I don't personally like playing on a press. I just find that even when I play with like my main tactics, when I play on a press, most people, because they do play drop back, you just get countered all the time. So I don't want to play drop back myself. It's just something I just won't do. So I always tend to stick on balanced because I don't want to go on the press because they always get countered. Width wise, 5 is fine. You could maybe try 6 if you don't want to get hit down the wings. But the fact that you've got fullbacks and wide midfielders, you shouldn't be too exposed on the wings. So 5 on the width should be fine. Depth wise for me, I always stay on 5. I never really change that too much. Offensive style, I went for fast build up. Now the reason why I went for fast build up is because the 4-4-2, it's very easy to play kind of like tiki-taka football. So fast build-up works really well because your team is very close together, so they all move up the pitch at the same time. So fast build-up is one of those tactics that it only works in certain formations. It's why it works really well in the 4-2-3-1, for example, because all your players are pretty close together. It's very easy to play those quick 1-2 passes, and that applies to the 4-4-2. Width-wise, I went for 6 on the offense. I just went for something a little bit wider. I like to have a little bit more width when I attack and be a little bit narrower when I defend. It's kind of like something that just works well for me. Good balance, and players in the box, corners and free kicks is all on standard 5, 3 and 1. Now, in terms of the instructions, the goalkeeper, as always, we go sweeper keeper. It's just something that not a lot of people actually do. And I've had a few of you guys have told me that they didn't know about this tactic, but it's something that definitely will save you a goal or two. There'll be a time where kind of that ball will get played in behind and you want your keeper to come out, but you don't want to do it yourself, and he'll be there. So sweeper keeper is definitely something you need. The back four, as always, we have stay back while attacking and overlap. We don't want those we don't need those fullbacks going forwards, especially when you've got left mids and left wingers, right mids and right wingers. You don't need the fullbacks going and overlapping. You could have that if that's something you want to play, but again, because so many people do play drop back and counter in this game, you do want to have a stable back four. You don't want them going forwards because you're just going to get exposed on the wings. Whenever he's playing drop back, they're really hard to break down. Your fullbacks push forwards. All they're going to do is then just attack you on the wings to counter you when they do eventually get out of their bus. So stay back while attacking is the way to go on the whole defense. The two central midfielders I've got on balanced. Again, they are central midfielders. They're not CDMs, they're not cams. They are box-to-box midfielders. So you do need box-to-box type midfielders. Now, team of the season is here. There are plenty of players that do fit that mold. Jordan Henderson's a perfect example. He's a great box-to-box midfielder. He's got good defensive stats, but has also got good attacking stats. So when he does get into those attacking positions, I can trust him to shoot. Doesn't have, only has 3-star, which is not ideal. It's something that can be a bit frustrating from time to time. But he does have all the attributes to be able to play that box-to-box mid-roll. Also got him on stay on edge of the box because our wingers and our strikers should be enough. And again, to just kind of nullify the counter-attack of your opponent. If your central midfielders do start and you set them to get into the box, we actually want Socrates and Henderson, want them both on cover centre as well. If you do let them get into the box, if you had their instructions on get into the box, you would then have your two midfielders, your wingers and your strikers all at the top end of the pitch. So it'd be very easy for somebody to counter you because you've got no players on the edge of the box, or between where your midfielders go into the box and where your back four is. It's just complete open space. So you want to stay back on the stay on the edge of the box for cross for your midfielders. The wingers, basic defensive support. Some people would say come back on defense. For me, like I said, I don't like to play that super defensive style of FIFA. Would it probably benefit me to play that way? Yeah, it would. But you know what? I don't want to play that way. I'd rather have more fun and get less wins. So basic defensive support, cut inside. Reason why I've got cut inside, it doesn't maybe make a lot of sense because we've already got, you know, some midfielders on the inside and our strikers where they are. But cut inside for me, it's not necessarily about where they are. It's about where they finish. Where they finish is you want them in the box with your strikers. You know, you don't want them out on the wing because there'll be times where you'll need to be able to play a pass into your winger. You don't want him to be stuck out on the touchline. You want him to be maybe making those runs in between sort of the right centre, for example, Rashford, the right centre back and the right back. You want him to be making those runs in there. So cut inside is what will make him do that. Getting behind to utilise that pace, get into the box for crosses, because again, if the ball's on the right hand side with, let's say, Salah, and we play a ball in, or we're looking for a cutback, Rashford is going to make that run into the box. It's just an extra player in the box, makes it, you know, increases our chance to score. And then we've got this exact same instructions on the right hand side, you can see, for Salah. And then up top, we've got the two strikers. Now we've got Fekir up front, who is not something I would play up front personally. But we've got Vardy and Fekir up front. Stay central and getting behind. Now, you could have these guys on balanced width. The reason why you could do that is because you've got the two wingers on cut inside. You do then have quite a narrow sort of spearhead attack. So you could have them on drift wide because then the two wingers will cut inside. The strikers might drift on the outside. It kind of just gives you a little bit of a different dimension. So you could try balance width if you want. I personally am just somebody that's been so used to playing stay central, getting behind, that it just works for me. And it just works for my playstyle. So that is the 4-4-2, a good look at the 4-4-2. Now for me, as I said, this sort of formation, I don't think this is like a high-end top tier formation. It's definitely a formation that, you know, with all due respect, suits the lower tier skill player. I don't think this is something that you could take into weekend league and expect to get a super high score with. Unless you're just an exceptional player, you could just take any formation in tactics. But if you're somebody that's looking for that little bit of an edge, this is maybe not the best formation for you. The 4-4-2, as I said, it's a great formation to use if you're a low skill player. If you want to just get better, you want something that's easy to use and just get the feel of the game, then it's a great formation to use before you can then move on to some more complex formations like the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-2-3-4, or, you know, lots of other formations that are require a little bit more detail and kind of more specific personnel to get the best out of them. But that is it for the video, guys. So if you do want to see more, make sure you do drop a thumbs up. It does help massively. I just want to say again, a huge thank you to all you guys showing unbelievable support at this time of year. You guys are the best. Make sure you do hit the subscribe button as well if you do enjoy the content. But that is all for today, guys. Have an awesome day.